Alright, so I'm back again, and last time we talked about how the orange softlock is triggered. Now, this part we're going to cover how to avoid it. But in order for us to understand how to avoid it, we need to understand how the section leading up to Smash Daisaku actually works. So let's cover that. So at that point I was just at, there was a mini-boss. And it's important to highlight that because after that is just these two enemies, and then past that point is where Smash Daisaku is waiting for you. That's kind of just the end of the stage itself. It's a pretty short stage. Now, these enemies here will signify their position by these two hearts here. So this is where the first enemy was. And over by this second heart here, that's where the second enemy is. Now, we've already mentioned how the oscillation cycle plays in an integral role in causing the orange softlock to occur. But it's also kind of important to understand that there are different things that happen at different points between the point I'm standing in here and what's in front of me on the right side. So pay attention to the oscillation cycle right now. It's doing exactly what we want. Now we're going to head to this part right over here where the second enemy was, and all of a sudden the oscillation cycle finished. So that's how you know this second enemy's position is the point where the oscillation cycle will attempt to finish whatever cycle it's currently on, and it will not attempt to do any more. If it reaches this point before the cutscene initiates, the orange softlock won't happen. So that's the good thing. That's why oftentimes people don't normally experience this glitch when playing casually. Now, just as importantly though, right over where my flame chaser is at there is another really important point in this stretch coming up here. And that point over by the flame chaser there, that is the point where the stage starts to go into full autopilot mode, and it will start scrolling the screen to the right and force you to initiate Smash Daisaku. So let's do that there, and there you go. There's the forced autopilot there, and there is the very initiated cutscene that potentially triggers the softlock. We already know that the softlock isn't going to occur because the oscillation cycle long finished before I even finished my explanation. So how do we get a result like that to occur without, having to worry about if we triggered it or not? Well, there's a nice, casual, and easy way to consistently prevent the orange softlock from occurring. So let's kind of show that off. So let's kill off that mini-boss that you missed the last time. He's right over here. I actually like to fight this guy right off the right side here with Flame Chaser. This is usually the ideal place. And once you kill this guy, I'm actually going to immediately jump kick off and to the right from this point that I'm crouching at. And then as soon as I land, I'm just going to straight up do a normal run straight to Smash Daisaku. Nothing will get in my way, and the oscillation cycle, no matter where it's at, is going to finish the problem. So let's demonstrate that. So it actually started at the highest most point, but the oscillation cycle still actually finished on time, well ahead of it actually. So that's how you know that strategy is always consistent. So if you are, in fact, worried you're on good pace, you don't want to lose the run to the infamous softlock, that is always 100% consistent. So if you have Flame Chaser, that is a way of dealing with it. Although, one thing I didn't explain is how to get up there, and I guess I'll explain that as well. Alright, perfect. We did get the Flame Chaser. Alright, so here's where we trigger the mini-boss. Now, if you want to know how to get up to that tight wire, like standing just a little bit below the mini-boss's health value there in the middle, one important thing to note, if you hold up and you jump, you will actually jump a little bit higher. Now, if you press C, and then if you press C again after you reach your highest most point in the jump, and you continue to hold up, you're going to kick off this this left wall here, and then you'll grab a hold of the tight wire that's hanging, that's kind of connecting the two walls there. Oops, I didn't properly. Okay, so it's not straight up. It's up and to the left. Or if you're on the right side, up and to the right. Come on. It's not hard. There we go. So I finally got it after a little bit. Took a little bit of time. Alright, so now we dealt with the mini-boss. Let's get rid of these guys. We already know the deal with this position, or the place here. But now we need to cover this spot here. You see these 3 needles here? I like to aptly call this the dead zone. Why I call this the dead zone is because if you reach this particular position and you're moving optimally to the right, and you continue to move optimally to the right, you're going to not be far enough to the right before a new oscillation cycle will begin. And if you continue to move optimally even past that point, and you get to the point where the screen starts to go full autopilot mode, you're going to get to Smash Daisaku before the oscillation cycle will finish, and that will trigger the softlock. That is why I called this point the dead zone. So it's right after the first enemy here. And yeah, so that's basically that's basically your visual indication of at what point do I need to slow down. Well, pay attention to pretty much the point where you pass the first enemy and this point right here that I'm currently at. It's around this zone here that you need to be very weary of where the oscillation cycle is at. If it is starting a new one, you have got to slow down. If you do not, you are going to trigger that softlock. Guaranteed. Or pretty much almost guaranteed. Sometimes you might luck out. You might just get lucky and it barely has like frames to finish the oscillation cycle in time. But don't tempt fate like that. Trust me, you don't want to tempt fate like that. And I will, I guess, wait until the oscillation cycle is about to. Okay, I hope that is enough time. Okay, so yes. So if you couldn't already tell, this corner here glitched out, so I already now know that I got the orange softlock to occur. That's usually a nice visual indication in that bottom left corner there that that it will glitch out. That's a nice way of, that's a nice visual representation to somewhat know if you got the orange softlock to occur or not. Sometimes it could happen and you won't get it. I guess that might be that it was on like I think it's because that will happen because the oscillation cycle finished like framed perfectly or something. That'd be my guess. But usually it means you got the orange softlock to occur, and that is what's gonna probably happen right here. Yep. So there you go. That is how the orange softlock occurs. And that is your way of, those are some tips and strategies on how to avoid it. Or that's usually what I go with. You might find a different setup, but usually that dead zone is my perfect setup point to demonstrate how the orange softlock occurs. And yeah, with that pretty much covers everything with the orange softlock. So again, I am Dagrin. Thank you for watching, and yeah, have a good one.